When I asked the agent, it was, why would I know that? So these are things that both listing agents should make sure they're asking their sellers if there's tenants in there, when are the lease agreements up? Because then we should be marking that somewhere in either the MLS, in the notifications, in the remarks, something to state when those lease agreements are up, because that completely changes a buyer's financing. Now, with that said, if you are buying it as an investment property, you also can't pretend to live there because that is another one where they will hardline it. It's an investment property, so there's different investment programs out there where they cannot be owner occupied. So those change the things we need to know. I had one last week where we were giving them a $4,000 earnest money credit for the whole time because the offer said that there was $4,000 earnest money. When we asked, because we never saw it clear the bank statement, where did the earnest money go? No one knew, the listing agent side and the buyer's agent side. No one looked at it early enough to make sure it cashed. It did not. So what happened? We had to get an amendment, take it off the offer, and then the clients had to bring in $4,000 more to close than what I had been telling them because that earnest money never cleared. These are things that can go through the loan process all the time. And I don't think anyone is maliciously doing this to anybody, but when you start moving at record pace and you're being piecemealed stuff instead of all together, things fall through the cracks. And things like this happen. Bad things happen to good people. And it is not an intention. It is because there's that much documentation that we need. So that's where we're different than buying a car. My husband and I just bought a vehicle and we never even had to give him a pay stub. That is not the mortgage world. It takes time. Loan programs change. Interest rates change. Things can change in the blink of an eye when anything changes with that purchase. And that is why I can't circle back enough to saying communication will be and always be the most important part of a mortgage loan. You can't trust just anybody to do that. You have to have a team that you trust, a buyer's agent that you trust, a lending team that you trust, and knowing that that buyer and lender work really well together. Because when they work well together, anything is possible. And you will close fast and you will keep things on time and your expectations will be met because they will also be communicating with you on the whys and the whereabouts so that no surprises happen on your end either. So super important for me to engage in this and just walk through that process with you because there is a lot to it yet. And this is why tied up in a pretty bow, mortgages will not start to default the way they did in 2008 and 10 because we are still getting way too much paperwork for the housing industry to ever collapse based on the financials. It will never collapse based on mortgages. Did it once. We put in all these regulations for a reason, and that is to protect you. So as annoying as they are, as fast as you want to go, and sometimes that's just not possible, we still need certain timelines and dates to get things done. We need to meet all of this, and this is the whole process. So if you can work with a loan officer who can walk you through that entire process and commit to you, you're probably with a pretty good loan officer. They can't commit all of that to you, and you ask them up front, and they can't say exactly who's going to be looking at the loan at this time, when, where, and why, and how. Get a second opinion because this is where the communication comes in. It takes almost 20 minutes to explain the why, and I'm somebody who does it every day. So for you listening, I can imagine how your eyes are circling right now in confusion. Let's break it down. Let's continue to break it down. Take bite-sized pieces so that you can understand it.